Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I have a special bonus episode for you. This is releasing on a weekend, which is not a time that I normally release a video. But way back a few months ago, this channel participated in a charity drive to benefit Trans Lifeline. Our goal was to raise $10,000. We raised $50,000. Thank you to this awesome community for that. And one of the stretch goals for that drive was bonus weekend video from me. And this is that video. This video is extra special because it comes from subscriber Annika. Annika has given me permission to share her story. When she came out as trans, she lost her friends, she lost her family, and for a while she was not sure if she wanted to continue to be alive. And Trans Lifeline was the resource that kept her here with us. And I sincerely hope that that $50,000 we sent their way will keep more people alive and with us and part of this community, or whatever community they do find for themselves. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the world is better with you in it. And I am happy that Annika's with us. I'm happy that anyone else who has considered ending their life at any point is still with us, especially around the holidays. Christmas is a couple days away at the release of this video, and it's a high-risk time for folks who feel like they don't have much when they see the holiday stuff going on. If you find yourself in that position, please seek out resources. The world is better with you in it. There are people who want you here, including me, personally. Even if we've never met, I want you to continue living. All of that serious stuff said, this deck is from Annika, and the last time she was super in touch with Magic was during Zendikar Standard, when she was able to play and grind and be in tournaments and stuff, and she loved Runeflare Trap combo. Runeflare Trap is a 6-mana instant. It deals damage to a target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand, and if an opponent drew 3 or more cards this turn, you can pay red rather than the spell's mana cost. That is a discount of 5 mana, make it cost 1. So what we've done here is built a deck that is constructed to make your opponent draw at least 3 cards a turn, and then we just spam them with Runeflare traps and copied Runeflare traps and make them all dead at once. Howling Mine and Temple Bell are the ways that we force players to draw cards. If you have 2 of these effects in play, plus the natural draw step, your opponent will have drawn 3 cards that turn. We have Counterspell and Force of Negation to protect our combo. Force of Negation's extra messed up because normally the restriction on this card is that it doesn't help you protect your own spells because it works on your opponent's turn. However, our combo's an instant. We can send it. And then the rest of the deck is just built to survive all these cards we're giving the opponent. Ghostly Prison, most modern decks attack to win, and most modern decks are built on pretty thin mana bases. A Ghostly Prison will slow them down a lot. 2 Ghostly Prisons will slow them down even more. I don't know if there's a modern deck that can attack through 3 Ghostly Prisons. And then on top of all that, we've got actual spot removal and multiple Wraths in the deck. The Fairy Time Raveler protects our combo, keeps the board clear, and 1 backup win the game card, Psychic Spiral. Shuffle all the cards from your graveyard into your library. Target player mills that many cards. With all these cards flying around, our graveyards are going to end up stocked. At some point, we can just Hadoken the opponent for 20, 30 cards and then make them draw a bunch more, and they'll be out of cards. Sideboard is just stuff you'd expect to see in a modern sideboard, and that's the deck. I made this update from Annika's original standard list. I hope it holds up. This is Modern Runeflare Trap Combo, a bonus weekend video from our Trans Lifeline drive earlier this year. Thanks again to this community. Let's do this video. On the play in round 1, and I've got a grip full of Howling Mines. This is what we're here for. Let's do it. I'm going to call the Temple Bells Howling Mines for this whole league. Just get used to that. Modern's a high-power format. Fueling your opponent, filling them up with cards, could be a huge spew. Obviously. Inquisition of Ghostlick. I think I'm about to lose my Howling Mine. any deck that would have Inquisition of Kozilek in it is going to be pretty bummed out that they're playing against a essentially Turbo Fog strategy. They did take the Howling Mine. I drew Rockrin Triome. I think it's better to just get my worst land into play than it is to try to hide that information. Thoughtseize. Okay, can they take all my Howling Mines and Bells before I get to cast even one of them? If I get even one in, I'll be pretty happy with that. Oh, look at you, you sicko. Alright, my opening hand was nuts, but the flurry of discard is a tough beat. Now I just have to play Jeskai control for a little while, with a bunch of awkward cards in my deck. Field of Ruin, okay. I have lots of basics in my deck. Teferi, I think I don't want to play as Teferi yet. Sucks that they have so much discard, but I don't want to run into a Bowmaster here. Okay, they did use their Field of Ruin. There's a good chance I'll get to counter something powerful this turn. Okay, they didn't move in on a Ring or a Shieldred or anything. Alright, I'll fetch out a bunch of non-basics here. Hallowed Fountains in play. They can't take me off white here. They're attacking my Steam Vents. I'll go get the Mountain. My mana base is pretty well suited to this sort of game. Okay, I didn't draw the land to play around Bowmaster. If they have it, I can Prismatic Ending the Orc Army, and maybe that's something. Or if they just have nothing, I can minus Teferi and draw a card. Found another Teferi. This is a good spot to stick a One Ring if they have that. They're continuing to attack my mana base. I have 2 more basics in here. Now I have Counterspell up. Shieldred's Edict. Alright, they're going to make me sack a Planeswalker when I have another copy in my hand. That's cool. Steam Vents. I will shock that in and just leave up the world's most blatant counterspell. Demo Field again. Okay. Number 4. This is my last basic. And luckily for me, I hid the planes this long. I still have all my colors. Edict. Okay, sure. I already drew a card off that. It's fine. And I have more where that came from. Always had it, except when I didn't. Steam Vents. Tapped. Okay, I mean, I am Jeskai controlling the heck out of them right now. But what is this? Choose a color, tap to add that color, add 2 mana of the color, spend it only to activate the abilities of land sources. Okay, so that's a enabler for Cabal Coffers, I guess. I can't cast this Lightning Bolt, or I can't cast the Supreme Verdict in my hand. I can cast the Bolt. And there's the Coffers. Oh, they chose white. Weird. Are they actually a white deck, or was that a mistake? I'm going to counterspell this Karn. And if they have multiple payoffs here, they can just outmuscle me. Looks like they don't. Alright, deck. Something good? Runeflare Trap. That's not what I wanted. Not now. Not here. Not like this. I've gotten my opponent mostly hellbent. There's Urborg. Alright, another counterspell I'm very happy with. Teferi can draw another card next turn. Clearly this card in their hand is not helpful, or they would have shoved it. Okay. Every turn they draw without a play is good for me, because that just lets me do more stuff. I'm going to minus Teferi. Ghostly Prison. Do I even cast this? Yeah, probably. It is hilarious against exactly this deck, who doesn't really attack with creatures to win, and also has zillions of mana. Inquisition of Kozilek. I'm going to counterspell that. That's likely to be the card they would take anyway, and I get to hide all the information. Right, now I can Supreme Verdict. I can Runeflare Trap them just full cost at some point if I think burning them out becomes a win con. Or some negation, very happy with that. Like, Bolt Runeflare Trap is 10 damage right now. Now it's 11 damage. I am going to fetch a Hallowed Fountain here. I should have done this last turn. I was just busy thinking about my plan. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. If I stop in their draw step, I can exactly double this Runeflare Trap on them. It's probably better to do in the end step. If they draw a spell, I'll just counter it. Oh, if they activate this Castle Locked Away, they're in trouble. Orcish Bowmaster. I mean, that's fine. I have a million answers to that in my hand, and also don't care about it. They did just get 2 cards out of their hand, though, but Castle Locked Away might walk them into my surprise trap. I'm just going to Supreme Verdict in the end step. Clean this stuff up. There is a plan now to win the game. I just have to find a spot to execute it appropriately. Please use the Locked Away. If they start draining their life total 4 chunks at a time, oh yeah. They're not quite dead here. They almost are. I might bolt them this turn. If they don't play a spell, I'll just kill them. Cling to Dust, exiling counterspell. Okay, that draws a card. That's draw 1. If they might actually turn on this Runeflare trap. Flashback, Cling to Dust. That's draw 2. And they've drawn for turn. Okay, so Runeflare trap is on in trap mode. And they have 6 cards in their hand. Targeting it to Fairy. All right, they're going to draw another card here. They have 7 cards in their hand. And Runeflare trap is on like Donkey Kong. They have a land and they have a spell. As soon as I get priority, I'm lighting them up. The One Ring. Okay, it's time. Blue, or red, blue, for Galvanic Iteration. Runeflare trap. Target you while you don't have protection from stuff. Belamo. Here's 10. Here at 7. Here at 2. And Bolcha. Easy game. They took all my Howling Mines on the first 2 turns of the game. Didn't even matter. Dovin's Veto comes in. I don't know that I want to crumble to dust the Cabal Coffers. I'm not convinced that's a better plan, though. If I'm feeding this deck that has massive messed up game-ending things to do with large amounts of mana, and they're able to dump their hand, like kind of the Turbo Fog, Turbo Control. Turbo is an old name for Howling Mine decks because people draw so many cards the game feels like it's going faster. It's not actually like ramp or anything. Weird old terminology that hasn't held up in the last 30 years. But the Turbo Fog deck style kind of bets that your opponent will have more cards than they can dump out. And Cabal Coffers lets them dump out their cards. I think that Ghostly Prisons can come out for the crumbles and the vetoes. And I'm going to do it like this. Crumbling Coffers does make them play more fair than they want to. I'll keep this hand. I have to assume I'm going to get discarded to hell. Sucks to have a basic in my opener because they used 4 of those land destruction effects in game 1. And I play exactly 4 basics, so they never actually took me off a land. But having one in my hand, they know they can. They know the 4th one's going to hit. I'm just going to get the Rockrin Triome. Not trying to do anything fancy here. Yeah, whatever. There's that. It's pretty good against Howling Mine. It's also pretty good against Teferi. They're in for 2. I didn't board out any removal. And the attack for 2 is not the part of this card I'm worried about. It's the draw cards part. I'm going to get a Hallowed Fountain because I already have basic Mountain. Just make sure my white sources are padded out here. And I am going to play the Bell. And double Runeflare trap in my hand. Okay. Alright. A lot of damage here. If I find a Supreme Verdict, I am not only stable, but pretty happy about the situation. But I do have to do that pretty quick. Oh, if they play Karn here, that also turns off my Bell. Annoying. I mean, ding. Here we go. Take 4, draw a card. Yeah, the Orcish Bowmaster is the angle of this deck that matters the most, and they have 2 of them. They are adding a card from outside the game to their hand. The One Ring. Okay. I still think I'm mostly okay here if I draw a Supreme Verdict. Hey. Okay. I'm at 4, which is not very much. I mean, they can Karn, they can One Ring. Unfortunately, having to Verdict that turn means I couldn't bolt. And that was a very good turn to deploy the Cabal Coffers. Let's see if I'm dead here. Shoulder the Apocalypse. That card's tough. Karn making a wish. For what? Chalice of the Void. Yeah, if they Chalice on 1 here, that actually sucks. Because that's how I was going to remove the Karn. Okay. I can bounce Shieldred with Teferi, and she'll be right back, but it's still at least something I can do. And I'm at 2 life in the meantime. I guess I can't do anything here. Yeah, they'll just play her again. Alright. They got me. Okay, the creature card draw punish half of the deck is actually a huge nightmare. And I probably want my subtleties in for that. I don't know that I'm going to Psychic Spiral this deck. I mean, Dress Down is not irrelevant, but it's not good either. Brotherhood's End kills Bowmasters, but not Shieldreds. Maybe I play 1 Crumble, because it's not good until the mid-game. Okay. Slightly more respect for creatures now. I'll keep this hand. This hand isn't going anywhere fast, but it's also not particularly susceptible to a discard spell because it doesn't have any specific value in it. I'm on Howling Mine. Counterspell. Alright, I'll shock in the Hallowed Fountain. Just let them know I have Counterspell. Suspended a Profane Tutor. Okay. My deck plays a bunch of Teferis, if I can find one in time to lock out that Profane Tutor. That would be sick. Has to happen this turn, though, because Suspend's only 2 on that one. Field of Ruin. Clinging to Dust, targeting my land. Yeah, that's a redraw. That's fine. You can have that. They did choose black instead of white this time on their Sunken Citadel. That had to be a misclick the last time. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. Come on, Teferi. Off the top. Shadow Realm the opponent. Teferi. Oh, they can Field of Ruin with that too. Okay, there are multiple activated abilities. That's cool. Okay, I'll float a red. Let them light me up here. Get a island. This mana is just floating anyway. Bolt you. Prismatic Ending. Disappointing. Okay, Hallowed Fountain tapped and pass the turn. Another Cling to Dust. That's fine. They are drawing cards, keeping their hand flush. Profane Tutor's another one. If they're getting the coffers, I'd rather counter the Tutor. If they're getting a Karn or Ring, I'd rather counter that. Coffers isn't very good right now. They only have 2 swamps. I'm going to let this resolve. Castle Lock Thwain. Oh, please start digging. Sheoldred. I don't really want to spend a counterspell on this, but I did just spend one of my bolts on their face. I can Supreme Verdict this, but that taps me out for a turn. I think I should probably just counterspell that. Tapping out for the Verdict on the next turn is risky. Oh, I need a Howling Mine. I'm so ready to light them up. They got 7 cards in their hand. Field of Ruin. Float a red. And I'll get a red. And I will bolt them here. Applying the pressure. Get their life total to a spot where Runeflare Trap might actually just be fair and square against them. Okay. Ding, ding. Do I do this now? I don't think so. Oh, maybe I was supposed to leave up red in case they draw a card on their turn. I'll do it in response to this Lock Thwain if that's what they're doing. Oh, Cling to Dust. Okay. I will Temple Bell in response. Finding Force Negation here is big. They have 9 cards in their hand right now. Thoughtseize. I don't really want them to know about these 2 Runeflare traps, but I don't want to pitch Force of Negation onto this either. Alright, they might just have me here, depending on what their payoff is. They took the Force. Karn, disappointing. Sundering Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that Subtlety was an excellent draw, knowing that they have Sundering Titan in their hand. 5, 6, 7 mana here. Suspended a Profane Tutor. Suspended another Profane Tutor. Just getting their hand low. Plus Karn on nothing. I have no game actions to take here, not when there's a Sundering Titan chillin'. Well, here we go. Howling Mine doesn't care about Karn. And I can pitch cast the Subtlety if their plan is just land drop Sundering Titan. They draw an extra card here. That's 2 draws this turn. 8 mana. I'm not representing Counterspell. So they're animating my Howling Mine. They must be planning to kill it with something. Dirty Tricks. And Karn is such a beating on this deck. Who let this happen? Maybe I should be playing like Dictate of Krufix instead of Temple Bell. Yeah, that's more blue cards. There's a lot of reasons that that's probably better. Okay, they were able to pitch a card from their hand to get their hand smaller, and then play this ring and gain life and kill my thing all in once. That was a powerful turn. Steam Vents. Bet. I'll play this, and they can decide if they want to activate their ring ever. And it looks like the answer is no. They do get to fire multiple Profane Tutors this turn. Ouch. Yeah, I think we've lost. I think it's safe to say. Runeflare Trap is if they drew 3 or more cards. It's not if 3 or more cards entered their hand. Unfortunate, because that definitely did just happen. Inquisition cannot hit any of the important cards in my hand, so sure. Though I suspect they're not worried about a Subtlety from their position. Maybe they are, I don't know. Coffers. Karn making a wish. Probably for some shit that beats me, now that they know about Subtlety. Backup ring. They've drawn a card with their ring. That's 2. I'm obviously going to Subtlety this Sundering Titan, which they put on top of their deck. And they played the new 1 ring, and kept the new copy. I can still kill Karn in combat this turn, which turns on Temple Bell. They just drew a third card this turn. However, they have protection. Target player. Yes, that is a targeted ability. Attack Karn the Great Creator. Play my land, and I will pass into their turn. Ring triggers. Urborg. Oh, great. Now my lands are swamps, too. That's annoying. Thoughtseize, huh? Okay, Thoughtseize resolves. I can still try to draw a counterspell in response to the Sundering Titan. Come on, deck. Counterspell. Prismatic Inning. Alright, I'm dead. That was kind of an exciting match. I wish that I had made these Temple Bells into Dictative Crew fixes. That I think it ups your blue count. They're harder to kill. They don't get got by Karn randomly. Deck building notes already. On to the next round. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. On the draw in round 2, I am going to keep this hand. I need another land to do anything, but I think that's okay. Deck has kind of a lot of those. Vulnerable to 5. What do we got here? Amulet, Hammer, Tron. Okay, Tron. Tron plus map. Okay, there's the land I was looking for. I will have Counterspell up on the turn that they will assemble Tron. Gives me a small space to breathe. Rock and Triome. Shock in this Hallowed Fountain. Mulling to 5 is the secret tech against me. There's the Urza's Mine. 7 in the pool. Chromatic Sphere resolves. Wormcoil Engine. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, that resolves. I can just bounce that one multiple turns in a row. It does tap me out of Counterspell to do it. But I don't think I can afford to use a hard answer on a soft threat like this. If that was bait and it's just like, now they play Karn and kill me, then whatever. Stirrings. The One Ring. Okay, I honestly hope they move in on that and they don't keep worming. The worm's back. Can I have a land, please? Okay, found the land. Plus this Teferi. This is actually interesting because I could let them attack Teferi for a turn, hold up Counterspell, and do other stuff. I could also get my Temple Bell into play and not do other stuff. I'm not going to pay 2 life for this, and I actually am going to drop the Temple Bell, and we will see how they want to proceed with this game. Now I just made it weird. I don't really care about losing 6 life. I don't care about losing Teferi. We got a what the blank in the chat. Now I just hope they move in on this One Ring and feed my plan. The Runeflare Trap, unfortunately, huge dog to the Up the Beanstalk ban, because this card, I actually lost to this card in a Modern League. Just a normal, no stipulations Modern League. Somebody had identified Runeflare Trap as a good card in the format. And I think they were right at the time. It still punishes Bean pretty hard. I got another tower. Let's see if they go face or if they care about Teferi. They correctly don't care about Teferi. End step, we're both going to draw cards. Now I have a Supreme Verdict. That's good. Oh, I'm about to miss a land drop. I hate that. I guess I'll bell now, try to hit the land. Got there. Okay, that worked out about as well as it could. And I can play another bell, survive another turn, and try to... Like, I can use Counterspell to survive a turn. Counterspell plus... Okay, actually, I just talked myself into that. Counterspell plus Force of Negation should do quite a bit here. I need to find a second trap or a doubler, because I can force them to draw 3 cards every turn, and I believe they're probably interested in just doing that on their own with their ring. This Wormcoil doing gaining 6 life every turn. I don't care about taking 6 damage, but the life gain actually matters a lot. I'm going to have to combo extra hard. They have ringed up to 8. I can just minus this Teferi and bounce the Wormcoil. I don't care if I actually have a Teferi in play. Second Wormcoil. I think I do want to counterspell this one. Or if I minus, and I'm still holding up Counterspell next turn, yeah, that's fine. I can play 2 Teferis. That's a world I'm comfortable living in. Expedition Map is fine. In my end step, I'm going to ring our bells. I'm going to fetch for a Steam Vents. Go to my turn, bounce a Wormcoil, play another Teferi, bounce this Wormcoil, And I don't think I need or want to shock in this Hallowed Fountain. I will play that tapped. I don't think I need to drop this Howling Mine either. I have put myself in a pretty good position to find a trap and light them up all at once. Cleanup, I'm going to discard this other Teferi. Oh, I have to discard 2 cards. Unlucky. Okay, I think a land can go. They take 2 from their ring, 10 cards in hand, including 2 Wormcoil Engines. Activate the ring, 13 cards in hand. Ulamog, disappointing. All right, what are we going after here? My lands, okay. I think I'm going to Bell in response and see if I can just kill them. Bell. Couldn't Bell. I'll counter the Ulamog, though. Expedition Map. Chromatic Sphere. I still have Force of Negation available. Oh, wow, all those cards and they can't do anything else? That's cool. Clean it up. I've drawn a Lightning Bolt. Play a land, plus Teferi, and Temple Bell, I can still counterspell, plus... Yeah, I'm going for another Bell here. Ding, 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 ding. I do have to go to 1 to fetch shock a Steam Vents, because I discarded my mountain. Do they have a techie land they can get here? That's not just another Tron land. Seems like no. They take 3 from their ring. I'm going to let the Wormcoils happen. This is not my fight. I'm worried about big planeswalkers and dumb stuff. I can Supreme Verdict in combat next turn if I need to slow it down. Ancient Stirring's also fine. Karn the Great Creator. That's the type of fight I'm looking for. In my end step, I'm going to ring the bells. Hallowed Fountain. I think I should fetch for a Steam Vents now before anything else happens, before I accidentally draw one of them. Because with 3 bells, I can make them draw 3 on my turn as well. And I don't even need to worry about, like, what if I double trap here? A Lightning Bolt you for 3. I'm keeping the trap because I do have the doubling spells in my deck. And if I find one here, I win. Howling Mine. Okay, I am committed to ringing the bell here. Just got to find a trap or an iteration. Bolt, Teferi, Ghostly Prison. Annoying. Okay. Plus Teferi. If I play Island, I can Supreme Verdict in combat and still cast Counterspell. I have to discard Howling Mine, Ghostly Prison, and I think I lose a Hallowed Fountain here. Though, is Bell... I mean, Bell can redraw next turn. Alright, Hallowed Fountain. Guess I have to lose the Bell too, don't I? I want to keep Teferi as a blue card for Force, and the Bolts could actually get me over the finish line on damage. Okay, they are ready to attack me. It's cool that they have 2 different art Wormcoil Engines, kind of plays on the... There are 2 things that come out of Wormcoil Engine trope. What are they doing in response to a Supreme Verdict? Besageing a land. Okay. I'll float a red. Hope I still have lands to get. I actually need to get the basic island here because I want to cast Counterspell this turn. And I can bolt with this floating red. If they're not scared, they should be. I'm coming for you. I got plays to make. And they are just passing the turn, it seems. Not interested in Karn, not interested in anything. Alright, bolt you with my lightning bolt. 14 life. They are close to dead here. Might be actually dead. Because the ring deals 3 to them. And I can trap them for 10. Oh, okay. Well, here, I might regret losing my red source. There is 1 Steam Vents left in the deck. Though, no, if I put them to 10, 11 cards, I gotta stop in their draw step. And then I can get them with a singular... Or I can tap 1 bell now, and then their draw step plus 2 bells. I can see if I find the red source right now. I did not. Okay. I'm gonna stop in their draw step and try to win the game. They go to 11. They draw up to 9. I bell you up to 11 cards. And then Runeflare Trap, target you for Xaxes with Counterspell Protection. And Teferi in play. I would have got there. Or no, I would have had to fetch shock from 3 life. So fetch lanes weren't live. I had to draw the raw Steam Vents there. So I think I did play that correctly. Okay, Dovin's Veto, Crumble to Dust. Those come in. Wow, they don't want to play this game anymore. Oh yeah, that's the salt I'm looking for. Salt is a way of life. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. I'm on the play for round 3. I've got a Howling Mine and 2 lands to cast it, the Nut Draw. Gonna play my fetch land and pass. An Urza Saga strategy. Amulet of Vigor. Okay, that's what we're doing. I think I'm safe to deploy Howling Mine on turn 2 against Amulet. And giving them more cards feeds their Nut Draw, and their Nut Draw can turn 2, but gotta cast this at some point. Here it is. Simic Growth Chamber, picking up the Saga. Oh no, they have the... Oh, it's picking up itself. That's so much worse. They have the Dryad. Oh, Azusa, Jesus Christ. Alright, well, likely getting turn 2'd here. They have 4 more mana right now. There's a lot of lists that don't even play Azusa, or it's down to like a 1 of in your Pact of Negation, or Pact of Summoning. Summoner's Pact? There it is. Summoner's Pact package. Okay, it looks like they're just gearing up for an insane next turn. Oh, nope, nope, nope. They're not even done. They have another 4 mana here. That Amulet's horseshit. And they can have a 3rd Amulet next turn with this Urza Saga. They do seem to still be spending mana. Dryad, that's another land drop. This is another 4 mana, so they have 5 now. If they work their way up into Primetime right now, I'm going to be so bummed out. They continue tapping their land. That's bad news. Just do it. Just Arboreal Grazer Primetime me. Alright, this works too. I'm pretty safe to play this Howling Mine on turn 2. Amulet rarely turn 2s anymore. Okay. I wonder which card they drew off my Howling Mine. Summoner's Pact. Alright, yep, I'm dead. So the same line, if I just hold up Counterspell, I counter the Primetime, and then they lose because they can't pay for their Pact, but instead I lose. I mean, I deserve this, but this is also the stone heckin' nuts. Okay, they did not tutor for the Haste land. They must have a second Primetime. Is the unknown card in your hand another tutor? They are really going to use every card in their hand, including the one I gave them off Howling Mine, to give me the biggest middle finger in history. Or Cultivator Colossus, is that what you're holding on to here? Oh yeah! Every single card was used. Howling Mine guaranteed to be involved in this chain somewhere, because they used every single one. Shocking. Terrifying. What if I subtlety'd this Primeval Titan right now, and then you lose? That would be so funny. And they got Valakut plus Slayer Stronghold, and they have red-white floating. Alright, yep. I get it. You've made your point. I'll just hold up Counterspell next time. Jesus, settle down. Subtlety and Dress Down come in here. I don't actually like Crumble to Dust. Just a 4-mana sorcery that only affects lands that have already done their damage. Psychic Spiral's actually cool. If I can instant speed a Supreme Verdict, it's good. Lightning Bolt does very little in the matchup. Maybe that's a cut here. Prismatic Ending has targets. Teferi has targets. Dispel can counter the Pact if I think that's better than a Supreme Verdict. And Ghostly Prison could mess up their math. If they have like a double or triple Amulet, they can shrug off Ghostly Prison pretty easily, but if they're on a thin line, it actually messes them up. Okay, I'm not going to bring in the Dispel. This is my plan. I can do the exact same thing I did last game. I can slam this turn to Howling Mine, or I can hold up Counterspell. This sucks. Amulet sucks. Hate my life. Okay, let's play that same game again, except maybe they won't nut drop me this time. Arboreal Grazer. Doing what? Getting 2 mana into play. I'd love to draw Subtlety so I can just jam this Howling Mine fearlessly. You know what? I'm not going to live in fear. If they turn to me twice in a game, they deserve it. Pass. I have to set my engine up. Like, if I don't play Howling Mine now, I can't play it until turn 4, because turn 3 they can definitely present something. Just kind of have to bet against Azusa being in their hand again. And we haven't seen an amulet yet, which was on turn 1 last game. Spelunking, lands enter untapped, they have a Sun Home, and okay, we survived that. Now I get to trigger Howling Mine for myself for the first time in the whole league. I am not going to play any cards here. Now I need to hold up my interaction. And removing Arboreal Grazer does not matter. They are a Cavern of Souls deck. They are a deck that can tutor lands, so this counterspell isn't even a guaranteed safe place to hide. Defense Grid, fascinating. Okay, I mean, that resolves. If I counter that, I can't counter anything else anyway, so I might as well just let them have it. And then I can Prismatic Ending it next turn because I didn't waste Prismatic Ending on Arboreal Grazer this turn. Steam Vent's tapped. Another Ghostly Prison. Just love to see it. Just flood me out with those. Give me every single one. Ending the grid. They draw for mine. They trigger Saga. Boros Garrison. Enters untapped. The One Ring. That's actually fine. Just to feed my plan. You don't know what's going on, but I do. I think I don't fetch here because I actually really want to hit a land drop so I can play one of these 3s and still hold up counterspell. Alright, hit the land. Good news. And another counterspell. I could just hold up double counterspell and not drop a 3. I could play Teferi and bounce the Urza Saga. I'm not sure if that's even good. It does set them back a land and deny them a amulet. And it draws me a card. Teferi. Bounce the Saga. Supreme Verdict. Okay. If I survive this turn, I can hold up Instant Speed Supreme Verdict, which wipes out Primetimes in combat. So they are just fully ringing at this point, plus Howling Mine hooking them up. Drawn with the rings. 12 cards in your hand. Seems like enough for an amulet player to figure out how to win. I think I have to counter any setup card this turn, like an Azusa or a Dryad, because they can't Cavern off 4 mana. That would just give them 5, and they don't have any double land plays right now. As long as I can count to 6 and predict what's going to happen. Yeah, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Do I want the other basic? Do I care about my life total? I think I want the vents. Or my only red cards left are the Runeflare traps and Galvanic iterations. Okay, I actually do want some amount of red. Counter this. It's bonus land drops. It's a creature with power and toughness, which is something I don't want to deal with right now. Selesny's Sanctuary can enter untapped. Ooh, Summoner's Pact. Ah, they get a Azusa here and then kill me. That's so annoying. Yuck. Alright. The Teferi betrayed me. If I hold up double counterspell, I think I just win this turn. Oh wait. Those lands don't kill me. Okay. That was lucky. Could have easily died there. Okay, we're back in business. And they discarded the Garrison that I knew about. I hit my land drop. I can Supreme Verdict at instant speed. And Azusa does not kill Teferi on her own unless they Slayer Stronghold her, but if they do that, then they're not strongholding anything else. Oh, and they have to pay for Pact this turn. That's great. Okay. Alright, slow down, take your time. I actually forgot they had to pay for Pact. I should have played Temple Bell this turn. Or Ghostly Prison. Like, one of these 3s could have been in play right now. They're just unlikely to even do anything this turn. They do have multiple land drops. Oh, I guess with all these land drops... Yeah, okay, never mind. I briefly forgot that we're dealing with some amulet bullshit. They can always do more stuff. So they're attacking Teferi. Probably their plan is to Slayer Stronghold this. Okay, I don't care if Teferi takes 1, that's fine. As long as he's around, we still got a chance. I'll feel really comfortable if I can find a Subtlety or Dress Down in the next turn cycle. Okay, something big is happening here. A Primeval Titan. I can play to the Supreme Verdict thing, or I could counterspell this. I think I want to counter this. I left this mana up. I'll let them think this is what I was holding on to, and then try to get them with the instant speed thing next turn. Fetching for a Hallowed Fountain in the end step. They have to discard 3 cards. Can I find a trap? Can I just get my plan online at all here? Please. Backup Supreme Verdict, plus Teferi. I can play Bell or Prison and still hold up Supreme Verdict. Bell moves my plan forward. Prison might mess up their math a little bit. I'm going to go for Prison. They're about to tutor a amulet for the first time in the game. They'll have access to that effect. And then Mycosynth Gardens can be a second one. But if I can get them to pay for Ghostly Prison, though Ghostly Prison is a static effect that is a special action when you declare an attacker. So it's not like I can get them to pay for primetime and then also kill it before it tutors 2 lands. But they're not going to get free pokes with this Azusa. And I do have Force Blue card, plus I can do the Supreme Verdict trick 2 turns in a row. They have 2 amulets now, and Spelunking. Lands enter the battlefield untapped. I guess with Spelunking you can decide whether it's better for it to be untapped or not when you play it. Because those are 2 effects that affect the same permanent, and you just get to pick which one you're worried about. A Simic Growth Chamber has been played a second time. They still have 1 more land drop that I'm aware of this turn. Here's land number 3. It's also Simic Growth Chamber. They have 12 mana in the pool, and 13 cards in their hand. One of them Simic Growth Chamber. Cultivator Colossus. That's a nightmare. Alright, here we go. Hurl your deck at me. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, there's so many triggers. There's millions of amulet triggers on the stack. Teleria West. I don't think the Ghostly Prison was the play. They have a bunch of Valakuts. They don't have a Dryad yet. And I can Supreme Verdict the Dryad. Okay, they're actually stacking triggers now, which I think happens once the Colossus is done doing Colossus stuff. What I would like them to do now is put multiple Dryads into play and then cast a primetime thinking it's going to kill me. So with multiple Valakuts, they can just like make a land drop and they don't actually have to commit a second creature. I don't know, we'll see how they sequence this. They have zillions of mana in the pool. They're going to pick up their Teleria Wests, which are tutors. They have given the Cultivator Colossus Vigilance and Haste. Okay, they are able here to threaten lethal with just the attack. And oh, but if they go into combat, all this mana is gone. You can't Ghostly Prison until you go to attack. And I imagine they could just Besage you this thing. Another One Ring. So resetting that. Okay. There's a Dryad. Okay, it's go time on these Valakuts. They have 1 land drop right now available. Packed. I guess I let that resolve. I don't know if I'm going to find a better spot for Force of Negation. They found another Dryad. Okay, they committed multiple Dryads to play before doing anything else. I need them to get greedy here. Okay, here's Primetime. I'm going to let the trigger resolve, and then I'm going to Supreme Verdict with all the Valakut triggers on the stack. They can probably still win with the resources they have, but I hope to be at least a little annoying here. Guess it depends on how many lands and Primetimes are left in their deck. Lands, Primetimes, and Dryads are all... There's 3 Dryads in the graveyard that I can see. I have to assume they can kill me, though. 12 cards in hand. Countless mana available. Though I did just burn off their 2 extra land drops that the Dryads were holding. Endurance. Okay. They have protection from everything. They can't Endurance themselves here if that was their plan. Remember this One Ring you cast? Got him. Okay, my graveyard's gone. Are there still win cons in the deck? Transmuting Teleria West. I think I will Force of Negation this pact. Force pitching the other Supreme Verdict, which I wish I could have for next turn, but if this is where we are, it's time to start challenging. Okay, another Primetime from hand. I am out of interaction here for now. The lands are not mountains, so Valakut doesn't matter. They've already activated their Slayer Stronghold this turn on a creature that they were still playing cards and we're not moving to combat on. Tutored Urza's Saga. I can't tell if a second land came into play there. It looked like only Saga did. Are they just out of lands in their deck? Alright, Besage you on my Ghostly Prison. They can give Double Strike, but they can't give Haste. Oh, now they can. They can explore into the Haste land, the Haste Double Strike. I think they have exactly enough to do this with that Explore. So they picked up the Slayer Stronghold off one of these triggers. I only see 1 white mana on the board, though. They tap their ring. They're trying to find a white source. Another ring. Okay. Well, that's good news for me. Drawing again. They do still have a land drop. Amulet. Another amulet. And they appear to be passing priority. I mean, this only matters if I can answer this Primetime or kill them. Runeflare Trap. Oh, Supreme Verdict number 3. Get wrecked. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can play Temple Bell and then Supreme Verdict and Trap on their turn. I might kill them by decking instead of by damage this game, but I'm cool with that. Got a pack to pay for. You take 1 from your ring. You got 6 cards in hand. Pay for the pack, take 1 from the ring. Draw for Howling Mine. That's 2 draws. When I tap Temple Bell, it'll be 3. I do have to watch out for these Saga constructs. Those are mildly concerning. 5 cards in your deck. I'm pretty sure I let Primeval Titan attack here and wait for them to give it double strike before I kill it, because I would like cards to leave their deck, actually. And if they just deal 6, I take 6. I don't care. Cavern and Urza's Saga were the tutors. Cavern is on Dryad. Alright, I have some concerns. They do have 1 Dryad left. I do know about that one. And they're giving double strike. Verdict. They're at 13. They actually don't have enough cards left in their deck for me to kill them with Runeflare Trap. But they do need to kill me now. Oh, they're drawing 2 from the ring. 1 card left in their deck. Temple Bell kills them on my turn. They do actually have to win right now. Defense Grid. Do I want them to have their last card? Alright, well, I have to trap. We're out here. This is what we're doing. And I'm not going to ring the bell, because if they're 1 card away from victory, I have to make sure they don't end up with it. And if they just go Dryad, land here, they actually still win. I only see 3 Dryads in their graveyard. And we know they're holding Slayer Stronghold. Oh, I'm going to be 1 card short of victory. That turn where I played Ghostly Prison instead of Temple Bell is actually the end of the game here. And they had a Valakut in hand, which means they have the Slayers. Oh no, that was the Slayer Stronghold. Okay, yeah. If there's a land left in their hand and in their deck, they win right now. Oh, what a thrilling game. They do have a land, but they won with 0 cards left in their deck functionally. If I had played this Temple Bell 1 turn earlier, on that turn where I played Ghostly Prison, I think I decked them this game. That was wild. Even with a loss, that was a great match. On to the next round. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. You can also find Jeremy co-hosting episodes 106 and 109 of the Tech Talk series with Keith Shaw on the Tech Talk YouTube channel. Head over to Tech Talk and don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube channel for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play for round number 4, and I have this no-lander I will be shipping. Oh, come on, where'd they go? I know there's lands in the deck. Going to 5. Alright, I found the lands. Keep these. I think I send the Runeflare Trap and the Supreme Verdict. And I'm just gonna try to get Howling Mine going and back into this game. Spire Bluff Canal. Oh, am I gonna face my first Ragavan? No. Alright, Howling Mine. Please don't Spell Pierce me. So the thing about Howling Mine is, even if my opponent has Spell Pierce here, they might not use it. Because LOL. That pause when I cast the spell certainly felt like they were like, do I want to counter this? I'll take the extra cards. Goblin Electromancer. Oh, we're playing against Storm. Yikes. This Ghostly Prison. Embarrassing. Prismatic Ending was basically the nut draw here. Hallowed Fountain, zap it in. These Ghostly Prisons have been pretty stains the entire league so far. And maybe they're just bad. The problem is, what I actually want to play is Ensnaring Bridge, but I'm also playing a deck that's built to just have 7 cards in its hand most of the time if things are going right, where Ensnaring Bridge doesn't work because it's based on hand size, and then Mishan the Mind Cage is a 7-drop. That's not going to work. Baral. Uh-oh, am I dead? Runeflare Trap. Okay. I mean, if they storm too hard, I might be able to light them up. They draw for Howling Mine. They've got 9 cards in their hand currently. If they counter a spell, they can draw and discard, which will put them into the Runeflare Trap zone. Though, that only takes half their life total away, which is less than I need to take away. No attacks with Baral. Okay. They're worried about some sort of ambush in combat. They think Baral is more important than anything else, and they're probably right. Going to clean up. Dump a Past in Flames. Just show me who's boss. Oh no, they're Flame of Anoring me. I want this card. And this is even a wizard. Busted. Alright, I'm going to try to counterspell this. They can counter my counter. They get to loot with Baral. And alright, cool. I get to keep my card. It'll land drop, though they did get a counterspell out of my hand. Oh dear. Am I willing to just tap out into this? I think so. Howling Mine number 2. Let's party. I need them to just whiff anyway. They got the counterspell out of my hand there. Maybe I'm... Sucks that I drew a Howling Mine, because I would have just let them kill it otherwise. So they were also going to draw 2 cards. But then I let them draw 2 cards. I don't know. Probably just bad news bears all around on that play. And I understand that Ghostly Prison is not good in the matchup, but I do also only play 4 of them, and I play way more removal spells than I do Ghostly Prisons, and I didn't need to draw 2 of these. Deck, I'm talking to you right now. Desperate Ritual. I'm probably in trouble. What I need them to do is fill their hand up somehow. How could they even get 16 cards in their hand? I think I just die here. 1,000 times out of 1,000. If this prison is just Lightning Bolt, and they don't have Baral, maybe we're still doing stuff. Gifts Ungiven. Alright, I am for sure dead. Gifts Ungiven for Past in Flames is a deterministic win in these modern Storm decks, which I have not seen in a long time. I'm surprised they're back. Metamorphose, Preordained, Past in Flames. I choose 2 cards that go to the graveyard. This can be confusing, but the wording on Gifts Ungiven is target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put those cards into the graveyard, and the rest in your hand. I would like Preordain and Metamorphose in the graveyard. Maybe I'm supposed to give them Preordain over the Ritual. I don't think it matters. They're definitely not giving them Metamorphose. Okay, they can Grape Shot me multiple times this turn. Yeah, this is enough. I'm dead. Because they Grape Shot me, they Past in Flames, cast all their rituals again, Grape Shot me. That's enough. Okay. Dispel, Dovin's Veto. Once again, cutting my Ghostly Prisons. Chalice of the Void on 1. In 2 is the important number against their deck, but I guess if I can play Chalice on 2, it's worth it. Teferi's pretty good against them, Force Negation's good. Supreme Verdict is probably worse than Brotherhood's End if they do like Empty the Warrens or something, or Ave Progenitor Ooze. I don't actually know what their jukes are. But Verdict pitches to... Verdict's better against Ave. They are the same versus Empty, except Verdict costs more, but Verdict pitches to Negation. Psychic Spiral could be funny. I don't think I need Psychic Spiral, actually. I don't think the game will get to a spot where that matters. And they're a graveyard combo deck, so no thanks. Alright. In additional interaction, out Creature Juke. Creature Hate and Juke win. Ugh. No engine, can't cast the counterspells or the bolts. I have to mulligan this, I think. We could just do better. Alright, this is already better. Keep and bottom Supreme Verdict. Verdict was my blue card for Force, but I'll make it work. Gonna grab Rockrun Triome here. Sometimes Storm jukes you by ritualing out a turn 2 Blood Moon. My deck has a bunch of basics in it, and I'm ready for Blood Moon, it's fine. Goblin Electromancer. I'm gonna Lightning Bolt this. I shocked in this Hallowed Fountain for no reason, but having the protection up feels good. Can I get the land? Ding. Speaking of ding, Bell. I love just feeding a combo deck more cards. What a powerful strategy this is in the context of the format that we're playing. Again, this Temple Bell would have been better as Dictate of Crufix, because then I could have countered this Baral and then just not flashed in my enchantment. Okay, the win con is here. We're halfway there. I got a grip full of counter magic. Baral is attacking this time. They've realized they don't have any creatures. Good read. End step, Bell. Howling Mine, cool. I'm not going to fetch. I would actually like a land drop. Bell. Can I afford to play this Howling Mine? I don't think so. I have Force of Negation up as well. Yeah, I can do this. Howling Mine, get in there. Yeah, I have Veto plus Negation. I'm giving up Counterspell. I could have 3 counters up. I'm going to have to settle for 2 if I want to get my engine going, which I do. Let's see if they end step a Gifts Ungiven on me. Flame of Aenor. Bam, right in the Aenor. And they're going to draw 2 cards. I'm going to let them have this rather than tap out of a counterspell. I just added another mine to the board. I haven't collapsed my engine. Reducing the cost of Flame of Aenor is pretty sick. That's a messed up 3-mana card. And they're just out over here doing it for 2. Ritual. Here we go. Something's happening. Manamorphose. Gifts Ungiven. Okay, so fighting over the gifts is the level 0 play here. Fighting over the Past in Flames might just freeze them. I'm actually going to let gifts resolve, which might be completely deranged. But if I put like 2 rituals in their hand and Past in Flames in the graveyard, I have Veto that can, no questions, counter the Past in Flames. And if they're holding something like Flusterstorm to fight back. Okay, so Past in Flames and Manamorphose to the graveyard. You can have 2 rituals. I'll fight over the Piff. Riddick Ritual. Desperate Ritual. Past in Flames. Fetch. Basic Island. Dovin's Veto. Did I guess correctly? Okay, the Past in Flames is gone. Storm is 9. If they Grape Shot me here, I'll be at 2. If they just play 2 spells, then Grape Shot me, I lose. The Flame of Anor, destroying my Howling Mine, and drawing 2 cards. Okay. I can't spend Force Negation on that when they could just draw another Past in Flames, or cast another Past in Flames, and then I lose. Yeah, if they just drop out some creatures, or if they have Empty the Warrant instead of Grape Shot, the Supreme Verdict is the nuts here. Wow, they just burnt off that mana. Attack for 1. Alright, Supreme Verdict, carry me home. My grip full of uncounterable spells. Splat. Okay, I mean, they still have 5 cards in their hand, and I have no plan to win the game. But we did survive that Storm turn. Another Brawl. It's in there. I'm going to fetch a dual land. I think red is pretty important to this matchup. I will cast my first counterable spell of the game and see if they've been holding on to a counter spell. If it is Flusterstorm, they're out of luck. Remand, they can bounce this and then also trigger Brawl, so they get a bunch of card selection out of the deal. I'm still going to chill on this counterspell. I'd rather fight them on their turn. Because I don't know if you've seen Flusterstorm with Brawl before, but every instance of countering triggers a loot, and Flusterstorm gets super wonky if they can just... Because even if like the first spell is countered and then the other Flusters would fizzle, you can Fluster your subsequent copies of Fluster, and then like every other Storm you get to loot, basically. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I'm not trying to shove a spell into a Flusterstorm if I can avoid it. Okay, they just Legend rolled their Ottawa to get an extra mana. They know I have Teferi in my hand. Oh no. Well, I'm going to start with Counterspell because Force Negation is actually better on Past in Flames. Like if they do remand my Counterspell, then I still have Counterspell in my hand, and I can counter their Past in Flames forever on the full Exile Zone. Okay, they are remanding my counter, and I want to zap the Past in Flames before they get another look, though if they have another remand here, I'm in trouble. Oh, they had the Flusterstorm. Now they get to loot their entire life away. And they are out of mana, at least. And they've made their land drop, so I don't care about this Past in Flames anymore. And they are correctly flustering my counterspell. No, the remand just draws on resolution. I was about to say maybe it's right to let remand resolve, but I don't think that's actually right. Okay, they are going to get 2 loots here. They didn't do any Flusterstorm tricks and counter their own copies of Flusterstorm, which I think they could have gotten away with 1 or 2 there. And then they Past in Flames straight into the graveyard and pass the turn, which I do need something like Dovin's Veto, blah, 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 blah. That's so funny. I was about to say I need something like Dovin's Veto to survive this next turn anyway, because the Past in Flames is in the graveyard now. Brawl resolves. Grape Shot. That's annoying. Alright, killing Teferi and dealing 1 to me. That's also now an actual face-up win condition. And without the Psychic Spiral, is that what that card's called? Whatever that card is, it's going to be really hard to grind up to a winning board state here. I'm going to Bolt Brawl right now, where they can't Fluster it, I don't care if they remand it, and it doesn't build Storm on their turn. Maybe I'll just run them out of win cons. Flame. They're just going to draw 2 cards in response, that's fine. Okay. I don't know how many Past in Flames are normally in this deck. Yeesh. 2-2 beatdown is actually a problem for me. Preordain, okay. They've drawn 2 cards this turn. Yeah, I'm way more worried about Goblin Electromancer than I am about Past in Flames. I do have all my removal still in the deck. There's more Teferis I can draw and bounce this thing. Top bottomed with Preordain. Heretic Ritual, yuck. What are you doing with that? You gonna Blood Moon me? I guess you could start Past in Flamesing right now. Or no, that costs 5 from the graveyard. Right. Oh yeah, just Ritual burn off the mana. They miscounted the extra 1 mana cost of Past in Flames from the graveyard. Well, here's Temple Bell. Let's begin the Goblin Electromancer beatdown versus me feeding you 2 cards a turn. Fetching the correct amount of mana on a Past in Flames, which I will counter uncounterably. And I definitely have to Temple Bell because I need to stabilize Runeflare trap number 2. Uh-oh. Steam Vent's tapped. I think I just pass here. I don't try to Bell. Belling into a removal spell would be good, but if I miss on removal, it's bad. Plus holding Bell up, where if they do something like cast Preordain, it turns on my Runeflare traps. Probably worth considering. Okay, Bell on the end step. Their hand just keeps getting bigger. I found a Teferi. That's what's up. Found 2 Teferis. That's even more what's up. Teferi. They're casting Gifts Ungiven in response. That's going to resolve. Moment of Truth. Do you have another Past in Flames in your deck? If so, please don't. A Flame, Gifts, Manamorphose, and Preordain. I'm going to put the Flame and the Manamorphose into the graveyard. If they want to Gifts again over the top of this Gifts, that's okay to me, I think. They're just emptying their deck wildly. Recklessly, one might say. Okay, they cannot have this Remand. Remand to the graveyard and Manamorphose to the graveyard. Gifts Preordain in your hand. Fairy resolved. Bounce your idiot. Come on, counterspell. A land, putting me to 3. And they suddenly have 7 cards in their hand. Oh, if they cast that Preordain, I think they lose now. Yeah, the gifts actually, each one was plus 1 card. Plus I bounced a thing. They got 8 cards in their hand. I think they're dead. Like, as soon as I get priority here, I don't even have to Bell. Okay. They've drawn 3 cards on their own, 8 cards in their hand. As soon as I get priority, they lose. Okay, draw a card. Go to 8 cards in hand. Lightning Bolt for the extra. Who's the Storm deck now? Bang! Can't even channel an Ottawar to lose a card because they don't have enough mana. That was awesome. I think I actually want the Psychic Spiral back in, because if we're going to get grindy like that, just milling them for 15 or 20 actually will win the game. Galvanic Iteration might be bad. Yeah, it's down 1 blue card for forces, but I don't think this spell does enough on its own. Okay, I'm going in. They now know what my win con is. And I have Dispel, Force, Chalice. These are all strong spells. The Flame is annoying because that does destroy Chalice on 2 or 1. And I think we've identified their creatures as the scariest part of their deck, which my hand does not do a good job in answering. I'm just going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped. I might need access to a basic. Okay, they didn't fetch Island there, which means they're probably not going to try to Ritual out a Blood Moon on me. My opponent's username is actually Turn 1 Blood Moon, which I hadn't noticed until just now. Oh, are they actually going to do this? They are doing this. Okay. Do I care? Is the question. I could have just put Flooded Strand into play and ignored this completely. My deck has 3 basics in it. They have to play on mono red if they do this. Yeah, whatever, let's party. Or they have Manamorphosis in their deck, maybe that's annoying. Okay. Steam Vents. Do I want to Chalice on 1 or try to get it up to 2? Does Chalice on 1 even do anything against their deck? I'm not convinced that it does. Yeah, I'm going to hold it for Chalice on 2. Oh, they had the Island. The thing about Blood Moon is when you know it's coming and your opponent doesn't, it's a lot more favorable. I'll ring the bell. Remand, that's fine. Electromancer, disappointing. Gonna get that basic Blains? Not yet. I'm gonna Chalice on 2 here. This turns off all their rituals, all their Barals and stuff. And they can Flame of Anor it. Manamorphose into Counterspell in response, the nuts. Or maybe they're just trying to cantrip, but this looks like a Remand. Wow. That was a cool trick. Still flushed another Counterspell out of their hand. Because Force Negation is my defense here. Pretty disappointed in myself for not just playing Flooded Strand after specifically saying they might try to moon me. Top-bottomed the Preordain. Desperate Ritual resolves. Empty the Warrens. Son of a biscuit. I'm not ready. I'll counter one of these. Just take some of the damage off. Basic land. Okay, I think Chalice on 1 actually hurts me here. Alright, Howling Mine. Not that I want to feed them more cards. But I did get got by this Blood Moon. I could have countered it and just decided not to, and I just lost that bet. That was probably just... I should have played the fetch land, and then I had the Force, and kind of bet that I could draw out of it first, and obviously that did not happen. Come on, Basic Plains. Basic Plains. Ring the bell. Nothing. I mean, Runeflare Trap might actually kill them. If I'm not dead first. Oh, I fucking forgot to Chalice. I'm just busy narrating my demise. Chalice on 2 would have been important here. Okay. Let's go to my turn. I'm at 6. If I draw another Runeflare Trap, I could still win this game. Really wish I had Chalice on 2 in play. Dummy. Oh. Basic Island? Not a Basic Island. Okay. Do I Chalice on 2 here? I'm dead on board, so maybe it's better just to have my mana available. Either Gift Sing. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step. I don't want you to have Past in Flames or Manamorphose. I mean, them being able to ritual off in response. I'm actually going to put the rituals into the graveyard, leave them with the sorcery and the cantrip. Okay. If the top card of my deck is Runeflare Trap, we can still win this game. Activate Temple Bell right now. The Basic Plains, no! So if I had Belled on my turn before making my land drop, then I don't guarantee Runeflare Trap, but I do have Basic Plains, and I can take out the Electromancer. Yeah, that's just one of those things. What do you want to lose to? Okay, I got clowned by this Blood Moon after specifically saying it out loud multiple times. Whoops. On to the final round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in the final round. And maybe it's crazy, but I am going to keep this hand that makes its land drops and has a bell. Playing against Hammer. Can I draw a Lightning Bolt before it's too late? Prismatic Ending. I'll take it. Zap in this Hallowed Fountain and take the Sigarda's Aid right now before anything happens. Yeah, although the win condition in this deck is goofy and disjointed, we're still a Jeskai control deck at the core. I got removal. Another Sigarda's Aid. Well, don't I feel silly? I think I have one of these hands where it's better to just hold the Rockrun Triumph as a cycle. I just have so much mana that we might need to do that. I don't like this Urza Saga one bit. Let me get a Steam Vents tapped. Lightning Bolt, okay. I will play Hallowed Fountain tapped and hold up Lightning Bolt. Not that I have high hopes that that will do what I need it to do here. If they don't make another construct, I'm in trouble. If they just float mana and then they have other stuff to do here. If they make a construct, I'm actually fine with this. Because if they tutor Hammer, I can zap the thing they target with it. And they currently don't have any mana to fight over that. They bolt that. The Hammer is in play now. And I can Supreme Verdict next turn. Okay, they're just hammering in right now, playing around Lightning Bolt, which plays into Supreme Verdict. Ghostly Prison, LOL. This might be a matchup where that's good. Supreme Verdict. Feels bad to Supreme Verdict into a Chapter 1 Urza Saga. You know there's just more coming. 3 cards in their hand. Another fetch land. I'm going to play Ghostly Prison and tap Steam Vents. If I can find a second Ghostly Prison, this is actually a matchup where this card is finally good. Oh, I'm dead. Alright. The surprise bonus equipment artifact here. Now they just float mana, tutor their Colossus Hammer, pay 2, and get in for 16. Bummer. Man, Urza Saga is a beating on control decks. Did you know that? Right, I'll give them the opportunity to mess up and like spend too much mana that they can't pay for Ghostly Prison. The win is on board. I don't actually have to do anything here, but I have to give them the opportunity to mess up. Stoneforge Mystic. Well, if they cast another equipment, they tutor Cauldra. Well, they're not going to cast that. And they have exactly enough to pay for my prison, and they figured out how to pay for it. Okay. Disappointing. Into the sideboard we go. Brotherhood's End, big one. Dress Down, big one. I don't think I want Chalice. I don't think I want Veto. Might be a Psychic Spiral matchup. Alright, Galvanic Iteration. Sorry, pal. You're just too bad. Doubling a Lightning Bolt against this deck isn't the worst thing that's ever happened. Teferi is actually kind of bad in this matchup. Crumble to Dust on Urza's Saga is a long-term plan, and I do kind of have to make long-term plans. So I have to survive the short term first. Force of Negation, I'm not super excited about. I will bring in the Crumbles, even though I think they're probably bad, but probably necessary. A one-lander that's full of good spells. Curses. Gonna mulligan. I got a two-lander with also good spells. Bottom Runeflare Trap, that's a later problem. Blooded Strand, go. Esper Sentinel. That's really funny. I think I want to bolt this, and they can have the card because that's what I'm trying to do to them anyway. I don't like that I have to fetch a non-white land here, but I don't want them to actually have a creature because Metalcraft matters in their deck. Just having a creature on the board matters in their deck. Do I wait? No, I howl. We came to howl. I need howl to find my next land drop in this plan that I've laid out. Enjoy all your cards, opponent. Cards I'm feeding you. Inkmoth Nexus, yikes. Stoneforge Mystic, also yikes. Colossus Hammer. If I find a white source now, Ghostly Prison, it's early enough where that actually will buy me a lot of time. Can we see Ghostly Prison function at least once in this league, please? Yeah! Okay. I think I shock in the Hallowed Fountain. Jam this prison. Alright, let's see if this game plan can actually kick in against a deck that this card is reasonable against. So it costs 4 mana now to attack with Inkmoth Nexus, because they have to activate it and then pay 2 to attack with it. Springleaf Drum, cool. Another Plains, okay. Sigarda's Aid, whatever. Draw my bonus cards. Supreme Verdict. I mean, that's good next turn. I'm going to play Flooded Strand, just in case this Psycho has Mana Tithe in their deck. And I'm going to try to set up a multi-turn Teferi plus instant speed Supreme Verdict situation. Surge of Salvation. Alright, all their permanents have hexproof this turn. Okay. They can equip the Colossus Hammer in the end step and then hit me for 11 on my turn, which is less than my life total. Plus Teferi, and I'll pass. Oh, they didn't end step the hammer. That's cool. 1, 2, 1 activate, 1, 2, attack. 1 activate, 1, 2, attack. Oh shit, I'm just getting poisoned. This extra land drop is a killer. That's why they held the hammer. Disappointing shit. Disappointing. Disappointment is my name. Me without a lightning bolt. Yeah, the Surge of Salvation stopping me from bouncing the Stoneforge Mystic gives them exactly the mana to do what they want here, and not quite. Alright, what an ass-kicking of a league. I did win a match, though, and it was against Tron. Okay, immediately, Dictate of Krufix. This is a flash enchantment. It's blue. You get the first draw off it. That's immediately better than Temple Bell. Huge spew and deck building on that one. This deck can't actually win the game other than one of these goofball spells. I wonder if just like a Celestial Colonnade or something in the mix, or the new one, the bird from Lost Caverns. What's that cycle called? Restless something? Restless Anchorage. 2/3 white and bird with flying, still a land, and when it attacks, make a map. Maps aren't very good in my creatureless deck. As boring as it is, these Ghostly Prisons should almost certainly just be Solitudes. Yeah, I'll put those in. That didn't work how I wanted it to at all. Like, if those Ghostly Prisons were actually a functional Ensnaring Bridge of some kind, then they would have been great. But Ensnaring Bridge just doesn't work with this deck. Now that Solitude is in, that's an alternate win condition. We might not need the Spiral, and then we get another Prismatic Ending to interact lower on the curve. The Galvanic iteration as an additional copy of Runeflare Trap was the idea, but that has not actually worked out very often. I think we can go to down one of those and up another interaction spell. Even move a Dress Down into the main. Gives us another Subtlety on the sideboard. I don't know if that's the right card, but there it is. Okay, obviously this deck was largely unsuccessful, but it was a lot of fun. We did the trap thing a number of times, caught some people by surprise. There's probably a version of this mana base where we can play our own Blood Moons, if that's something we want to do. I'm not convinced that is what we want to do, but it's there. And probably because this is modern and the cost is so low, you might just want to add a different Triumph to the deck and make Leyline Binding part of the removal suite. Boring, but it is there. Okay, we've come leaps and bounds in just those 5 matches. Dictate of Crewfix, damn near a strict upgrade. Oh wait, that's not true. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it is, okay. I was about to say, I can't force a draw on their turn, but that's literally how Dictate works. It works the same way as Howling Mind. Never mind. I don't get to choose when the cards are drawn, but they do still draw a card off this on their turn. Dictate's great. Solitude, obviously great. And will help plug up some of the holes. Plenty of white cards to pitch in this deck, and we got the 5 mana quite often. I'm going to leave this here. There's probably some more work that can be done around it. There are other Howling Minds you can play. You could play Font of Mythos, which is a 4 mana one that people draw 2 cards every turn. Just literally double Howling Mind. I don't know that we need all that. Jace Beleren could be in this deck, the original Jace Planeswalker. You could play some other Planeswalkers like Jace the Mind Sculptor, though then we start just wondering what the Runeflare Trap is doing here, if we are just interested in our own card advantage. Modern's a high power format, and feeding your opponent card after card every turn at no investment of their own is risky business, of course, and we saw how that could backfire, but hopefully this deck took a step in the right direction, and it was a lot of fun to play besides, and I've recorded this video for a good cause. Annika, thank you for sharing your deck and your story with us. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks again to this community for all the money we raised earlier this year. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.